What's up guys, in this video I'm going to teach you guys how to properly buff and wax your non-skid. So before we hop into this video, I can already hear it now. People are gonna freak out and be like, hey, if you wax your non-skid, are you gonna slip and fall and die? And that's just simply not true. Now, anytime you protect your non-skid or you buff it, it will make it a slight more slicked off than it normally would be because it's all dry and chalky right now. But when you buy a brand new boat, it's going to be a fresh surface anyway, so it'll be the consistency of being a brand new boat. So you don't have to worry about it. Now, if you are a boat detailing company, I do recommend you tell your customers that if you do this service, there is a chance that it's going to make it a little more slick, and that's only to cover your butt if they slip and fall and they don't come after you and blame you. In 7 years of doing this, I've never had an issue with anyone slipping and falling and hurting themselves or any kind of way like that. Now, when it comes to buffing your non-skid, the reason why you would want to do it is it's going to make it way easier to clean and to keep it clean. So if you're fishing or if you're just using your boat, like this is just a pleasure boat, if you're using your boat for fun, it's going to just keep your non-skid looking really good, and also it's going to keep your boat way easier to clean, so you're not sitting there scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact process of how to buff it, and then we're going to seal it with a sealer, and then we're going to actually top it off again with a non-skid sealer. So it's going to be a lot, but watch the video from the beginning all the way through, and when you're done, you're going to be able to go out and buff out your non-skid and keep it protected for months and months and months. And then at the very end of the video, I'm going to teach you guys how to properly maintain it, and I'm also going to go over some different techniques and tricks for washing your boat properly and just keeping the non-skid looking fresh. Hey guys, if you get any value out of this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell notification, so every time I make a video, it'll pop up. And also, everything that I list in this video is in the description down below, so if you click those links and you purchase those products, I get a small percentage of that sale, and I appreciate you guys for that. Also, I want to give a shout out to Antonio Gonzalez with A Marine Shine. He's based out of like Long Island, New York, around the city there. If you're in Long Island, New York, or around there, the Hamptons, anywhere on the Hudson, give him a call. You can find his information down below. That's who helped me do the floors. He personally came out and trained with me. So if you're in the Long Island area, go ahead, give him a call. It's A Marines Shine. Thanks, Antonio. You did awesome. So with all that said, let's go ahead and hop right into it. All right guys, so let's hop right into the teaching. First things first is going to be rinse off your floorings. In this case, the non-skid was super dirty, so we're gonna go ahead and clean it first. Go ahead and remove any leaves, any pine straw, anything like that, and then we're going to spray our heavy duty degreaser. Okay, so this right here is super clean. You can find them at Walmart, I believe Lowe's, or also in the description down below. It's a heavy duty degreaser and it is not diluted. Later on in the video we dilute it, so pay attention to that. This is just straight because we are really wanting to cut some of that dirt, that grease, you know, and you may want to do this for fish blood, fish guts, that kind of thing if you have a fishing boat. This boat was extremely dirty, so we're going to scrub it with a soft bristle brush, or you can use the Sure Hold brush system, which I go over at the very end, so make sure you watch that. Now, this is a better boat hard bristle brush. Okay, this is going to be a hand application. This is a very stiff brush. I do recommend purchasing this brush because you have to really scrub in the non-skid. One thing before we go to compounding and cutting, we want to make sure that the non-skid is perfectly clean. So in this process, you want to clean the non-skid as best as you possibly can, get all in the cracks, crevices, that kind of thing. And then also, if there's any rust marks or anything like that, you want to take some rust aid to those rust marks to remove any rust marks, any stains, any glue, any fish blood, anything like that, before we move on to our next step. So make sure the surface is completely clean. Once you've got everything washed out, take a shot back to it, shot back all your dirt, all your leaves, any grime, anything like that, because we want to make sure the surface is completely clean. Now, once everything's out, go ahead and dry it. This is the Sure Hold mop. Like I said, you can find everything in this video in the description down below. This Sure Hold mop is great because it can be a mop, and then it can also switch to your brush later. Get you a DeWalt blower, guys. These are you know, a really good tool to have just to make sure all the cracks and crevices and everything is completely dry before we start. We're going to start off with a heavy cut compound, and we're going to use our rotary with a cutting wool pad. Okay, now I'm going to just kind of show you guys first how to do this section right here. And then after that, we're just gonna have, me and Antonio is just gonna get to work, and you can just kind of see how we flow with it. So what we're gonna do, and we're gonna use this a little differently than we do on the sides, okay? So when you're cutting non-skid, or this is like a diamond plate non-skid, so it's got all these little ridges on the inside. So when we're buffing, we're not gonna traditionally buff flat like this. We're gonna kind of buff on the side, because we want these fibers to go ahead and cut inside the diamond, okay? So you're gonna notice I'm gonna be kind of running it on the side like this, not so much flat. So what we're gonna do here on our first step is we're just gonna put a little compound on the surface like so, and we're just gonna run it in. Basically how you do like a just a traditional compound, sort of flat, but as you can see, it's gonna be on the side here. All right, so you just spread it in, and now we're gonna crank it up to about the 2 setting, and then we're gonna run it. There, you take your rag and just wipe off the excess. This is gonna be our first step, okay? So on this step, this is gonna be our main cutting step to remove the oxidation. Then we're gonna follow up with a medium step, and that's gonna be more of the polish, and then we're gonna clean it and seal it up. So let's go ahead and hop to it. All right, so this is our first step. It is Presta Super Cut Compound. This is a super heavy cut compound, and this is going to be our first cut that's going to actually remove the dullness and the chalkiness. This non-skid was actually chalky. If you rub your hand on it, you got like a white powder on your hands. So this is going to remove that. It is also going to scratch it, so that's why we have to follow up with the polish in the next step. But this is the most crucial part, because if you don't do this right, the rest of the process is not going to matter. So make sure you take your time, keep the buffer on the angle like I showed you guys just now, to make sure those fibers get in the cracks and the crevices of the non-skid. So do your side to side, up down, side to side pattern as best as you possibly can on the floors. But guys, make sure you go over every single area with the same pressure and the same speed of your arm speed, so you can get a consistent cut and polish. All right, now like I said earlier, you want to stay on about the 2 setting, and then I usually do like side to side, up down, with the 2, and then my last pass I usually bump it up about half a click, just to finish it off, to give it a nice shine. The super cut, this first step, is going to be the oxidation removal part of this process, and then the next step that we're about to hop to is going to be more of the polishing step. It's going to remove the scratches that the super cut does. That's why we have to do 2 steps. This step is going to actually remove the oxidation and possibly even slightly scratch the surface. And then the next step is going to remove the scratches that this product puts in to refine the surface and brighten it up. Now is our second step. We're going to move on to Manzurna 400. Exact same process. Keep it on an angle, keep it on the side, and try to keep consistent pressure throughout the whole time. Still, with this step, you're going to do the exact same speed setting. You're going to do it on about the 2 setting, and then once you've done your side to side, your up down, on that last pass, bump it up about half a click and just let it ride out. As you can see, the non-skid is already getting shinier and more glossy, and that is exactly what we want. This product is going to be like turning on the lights. It's going to make the non-skid just pop. It's going to make it super glossy, and that is exactly what we want, because when it's glossy, that means the surface is completely refined and it's slicked off and it's not porous any longer. So fish blood, fish guts, oils, that kind of thing will not soak into your flooring anymore. Now they're going to actually sit on top. So guys, make sure you do this step properly, because if you don't do this step properly, the next step is not going to matter. So every step builds on each other. Okay, I've had a few people reach out and say, hey, why do you do so many steps? It's because every single step builds on each other, and that's how we get the surface. We refine it, we refine it, we refine it until it's perfectly refined. This step is going to be more of our polish, so do your side to side, your up down, and slick it off. And guys, make sure when you put the product on, I'm not putting it on the pad, I'm actually putting it on the floor. So you can see right here, we sprinkle it on the floor like this. The first pass is gonna just kind of spread the product around, and then we're gonna work it in. We're gonna do our side to side, up, down, side to side, and then bump it up half a click and finish it off. So do this, and then we're gonna move on to our next step. All right, so here's our next step. Now, this is the super clean diluted. So earlier it was not diluted, and now it is diluted. So I did about, I think it's 3-to-1 ratio. I put about a quarter of the bottle with the super clean, and then I filled it up with water. So all you got to do is spray it on the surface and brush it in. You can either use this brush that I have here or the Sure Hold brush system that's in the link down below. You can find more information on the brush system at the end of the video, so make sure you stay to the end to get all the information on that. So all we're doing is we're not doing a really heavy brush. The only reason why we're doing this is so we can remove the compound out of the non-skid. If you don't do this process, you're going to basically be sealing in compound, and we don't want to do that. We want to clean all the compound out, and then we want to seal it. So make sure you do this process really thorough. There should be absolutely no water beads on the flooring when you do this. The water should be stuck slick to the surface. So take your mop out, go ahead, dry the surface again. You're basically repeating the same steps from earlier. We're going to get our little blower out, blow off all the cracks and crevices, and we're just going to make sure the non-skid is perfectly dry for our next step. It has to be perfectly dry, so make sure the boat is 100% dry before we move on to our next step. All right, guys, so now we are going to seal it with Jescar Power Lock. We are using the Griot's Garage G9 with the Nautical One finishing foam pad. Okay, now you can use pretty much any pad you would like, either foam or microfiber, but I prefer this one because it's nice and soft and plush. The G9, you can use the G9 as well, or you can use pretty much any dual action polisher will work for this process, or you can even do it by hand. So if you don't have the G9, that's fine. You can rub it in by hand. Now, Jescar Power Lock, I have a lot of information on this product, okay? You have to apply it, and then you have to leave it sit for at least 30 minutes to an hour. I usually like towards the hour range because you really want to make sure the polymers bind together and they actually lock together and seal off the surface, okay? Now, this product is going to be our foundation, okay? So we're going to do the Jescar Power Lock, and then we're going to follow up with another sealer to top it off, and then that sealer is you're going to keep your non-skid topped off with for months and months and months, okay? So first things first is we're going to do the Jescar Power Lock. We're going to apply it here. I have the machine on probably the 4 setting. I do the side to side, up, down, side to side, and then we let it sit for 30 minutes, and then we take it off. So after 30 minutes, go ahead, get on your hands and knees, and go to rubbing. Make sure all of the wax or the Jescar Power Lock is a sealant. Make sure you absolutely remove all of it before we move on to the next step. So it's very crucial that you remove all of it before the next step. All right, guys, now that we have everything buffed and sealed with the Jescar, now we're going to use a new product that Nautical One actually sent me, okay? They are not paying me at all to do this, but out of the kindness of their hearts, they sent me this product, and we're gonna do it today. I did a few test spots on the back, and it's performed really well, and that's why I'm just gonna go for it and apply it and show you guys how to properly do it. It's great, and honestly, most of the products that Nautical One has sent me have all been great. So, you know, guys, go check out their products. They have a whole line of soaps, compounds, polishes, the SiO2. It is the same company that McKee's 37 Hydro Pearl. Nautical One is just their marine line, so it's the same company. They just came out with a marine line this year. So this product here is the non-skid sealer and protector, and what we're gonna do now is we're gonna top off the Jescar Power Lock with this product. Now we're kind of double laying it, so this is more of an overkill, but it's always best to do a little more than just getting away with what you can. So if you are if you're a detailer and you're doing this for a customer, go the extra mile, put some extra protection. And if you are doing this to your own boat, then hey, the more products, the more protection you have, the longer it's gonna last. So let's go ahead and apply it. This is the Nautical One non-skid sealer. All right, now all you have to do is spray the surface All you have to do is spray this directly on the surface and then wipe it in, and that is it, okay? We're gonna do 2 coats. So if you notice, we start from the very front and then we're gonna work our way back, and then we're gonna go straight to the front and work our way back again. You don't really have to wait. It's probably best if you waited about an hour, but it usually takes about 20 to 30 minutes to get through the whole boat anyway. So maybe just, do the whole boat, wait for about 20 minutes or so, and then do it again. So that's all I did in this process. So take your microfibers, go from the front, work your way back, spray it directly on the surface pretty liberally, and then wipe it in and just leave it. And that is it. You are done. So one cool thing about this product, and I'm going to explain this in just a second more in person, is that you do not have to do all of these other steps to apply this, okay? So if your boat is brand new, you can just use this product. You don't have to cut it with compounds. You don't have to put the Jescar Power Lock. You can just do this, and that's actually what it's made for. But in this case, I wanted to do kind of overkill, so that's why we did the Jescar Power Lock, and now we're topping it off with this. But like I said, you do not need all the other steps if your non-skid is in great shape. Alright guys, so now that we've got everything detailed and perfectly clean, it's now been a few days later. There's some pine straw, there's just some debris. I have a tree right here kind of dropping stuff on this boat. And now we're going to learn how to properly keep it maintained and beating for months and months, okay? Because if you were to use bleach or you use like a degreaser or something, all the hard work you just did is pretty much erased. Besides the compounding, that will actually shine it up and restore it, but all your protection is gonna get ripped off. So what you don't wanna do is use any bleaches or Dawns or any heavy degreasers, because that's just gonna rip all your wax off. So what we wanna do is we wanna learn how to properly clean it, and then we wanna learn how to keep it protected for months and months and months, so it's easier to keep clean and obviously just make your life a little easier when it comes to cleaning it. Let's go over everything you're gonna need to properly keep your non-skid cleaned and restored. First things first is going to be the brush. Now you saw me use this Sure-Hold mop. You can also get some nice brush heads to go with it. I personally like the X Soft. It's the blue one. I have it linked down below. This is gonna be great for doing your non-skid, and it's also gonna be great for doing your boat. One cool thing about Sure-Hold is it's one pole, and you can have all these different attachments, and it's pretty easy. You just literally clip it on and clip it off, and that's it. So we're gonna use the Sure-Hold brush and the mop here for mopping, for drying purposes, because you always want to keep your non-skid dry after you wash it or after you go out and use the boat. And then secondly, you want to just have your brush head for cleaning it. Now you can use this deck brush too, the yellow one. It's a little more stiffer. I would not necessarily recommend this on the actual gel coat because it can possibly scratch it, even though it says that it's for gel coat. I would always just stick to the blue one for your gel coat. But if you need a little extra scrubbing power, just clip this bad boy on. Now you have a better deck brush. All right, so now that we have the brushes taken care of, now we're just gonna use our Sure-Hold bucket system right here. You can find that down below too as well. The Sure-Hold bucket system is great. Guys, this is an amazing bucket. It's got a super thick rope on there, really good, and it has a grate inside of it. So this right here will keep the dirt at the bottom so your brush isn't constantly stirring up the dirt. So this is a really, really good bucket. It's well worth the money spent. And now what we're gonna do, what we're gonna wash our perfectly sealed off gel coat with is going to be this stuff right here. All right, so this product right here is amazing, okay? It is an SiO2 wash, all right? So if you've seen my other videos with McKee's 37 Hydro Pearl, this stuff right here has pretty much that inside of it. It is a soap with an SiO2 in it, and it's gonna keep you protected, and it's gonna also make it water bead. So this is a little different than you normally would, all right? So we have our bucket here. I only have it filled up to about here on it, so it's not very full. And we're just gonna take a few clumps of this, all right? Let's open it up. It's a brand new bottle. All right, so we're just gonna take a few clumps of this right here, and we're just gonna kind of spray it in just like that. Okay, so with this product, it's a little different, okay? We're gonna scrub the whole non-skid, and we're just gonna let it sit. We're not gonna rinse it off. We're gonna do all of non-skid. So even if you have a 50-foot boat, do all the non-skid, all of your boat, and then come back and rinse it off. It's okay if the soap dries on the boat, okay? Now, when you wet it afterwards, you're actually gonna activate the SiO2 in it. So what you wanna do is wash all of the non-skid and then go ahead and rinse it off. So let's hop right to it. right, guys, so that is pretty much it, man. Super simple. Use the ceramic wash and wax when you're washing your boat from now on, okay? I personally like it. I think it's actually gonna replace Orpine for me. I've used Orpine for years, but this wash and wax, this SiO2 wash and wax is, you know, it's freaking amazing. So it's Nautical One wash and wax soap. All right, guys, so this is the non-skid sealer and protector that we put on in the beginning. Wipe this on about once a month, guys. So after you do your wash, if you notice that the water beads are starting to kind of disappear, go ahead and just put this on. You know, follow the same steps we did. Just don't do the, you don't necessarily have to do the Jescar again. You don't have to do the compounding again. The Jescar is probably going to be good once, you know, every 6 months, once a year. But if you wipe this non-skid sealer and protector on, just put it on once a month. After you're wiping, literally spray it on a rag, wipe it in, and that's it. You're good. You're protected for months and months and months. And guys, you've heard me talk about the Hydro Pearl. Nautical One has the same thing. It's the same company, like I said, it's just their marine line. It's the SiO2 ceramic spray. You can find that down below too. And don't be afraid to put that on your floors as well, guys. So keep it protected. The more protection you have, the longer it's gonna last. It's obvious. So the non-skid sealer and protector is good for your maintenance detail. So let's just say you did a wash and wax detail and you just want to top off the non-skid on the flooring. You don't have to do the compounding. You don't have to do the Jescar. You can just put the non-skid sealer and protector. So guys, don't feel bad. Like if you're like, hey, I'm doing a wash and wax detail and you just want to add a little extra, go ahead and put the wash and wax sealer. From now on, every boat I ever do, I'm going to apply this product now. That's how much I believe in it. And dude, I think it's like 30 bucks for a bottle of it, and it works really, really good, and it takes like 0 time. So go ahead, go the extra mile, put this product on all of your boats from now on the non-skid, and the first time your customer goes out and they wash their boat down and their non-skid beats up, they're gonna think you're freaking amazing, because you are. So guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you got a ton of value out of this. I know I had a ton packed in this one, but guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we look forward to seeing you guys on our next video. Let's go.